October 30th, 2025. The transfer that changed everything. Diddy's out of Brooklyn, but the truth about what his life actually looks like behind bars is way darker than his publicist wants anyone to know. We're talking gray hair, open dorms with 8 other inmates, and a 23-cent an hour laundry job. CBS News just got their hands on his intake photo, and it tells a story his lawyers never intended to make public. Here's what really goes on at Fort Dicks Federal Penitentiary, and why this matters more than celebrity gossip. Shawn Diddy Combs spent 13 months rotting in Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center. 13 months watching his empire collapse through a prison phone line, dealing with one of the most notoriously brutal federal facilities in the country. If you followed this story at all, you know MDC Brooklyn is a nightmare. Inmates there have described it like a cage. The conditions are inhumane. The violence is constant. Guards are overworked. Nobody wants to be there. So when his legal team finally got him transferred on October 30th, 2025, there was supposed to be relief. Finally, he'd get out of that hellhole. His lawyer, Mark Garagos, specifically petitioned the judge for Fort Dix Federal Penitentiary in New Jersey. The request wasn't random. Garagos wrote that the facility would help Diddy address drug abuse issues, maximize family visitation opportunities, and participate in actual rehabilitation programs. Fort Dix is 75 miles south of New York City, much closer to his family than Brooklyn ever was. And here's the thing. Fort Dix is the largest single federal prison in the United States. 4,100 male inmates total, 3,900 at the main facility, and another 200 at the satellite minimum security camp. It's massive. It's supposed to be more modern. It's supposed to be better. But the moment Diddy arrived, CBS News obtained something exclusive that shattered the narrative his team was trying to build. An intake photo, not some blurry surveillance footage, not some rumor. An actual photograph of Shawn Combs in his prison uniform, and the story it tells is brutal. Gray hair visible everywhere, not just a few strands. We're talking about visible aging. His eyes are tired, dead tired. The kind of exhaustion that comes from the reality of his situation finally setting in. No entourage, no publicist, no control, just the actual consequence of federal prison, captured on film. And this is important. Nobody was supposed to see this photo. His legal team definitely didn't want it out there. This isn't the image they're trying to project. They want people thinking he's doing fine, that he's handling it, that this is temporary. That photo proves otherwise. Here's what most people don't understand about how Fort Dix actually operates. There are no traditional prison cells. Zero. You know those metal cages with bars that you see in every prison movie? Doesn't exist at Fort Dix. The entire facility runs on dormitory-style housing that was retrofitted from old military barracks back in 1992. Some dormitory units house 12 inmates, 12 men in one small space with 6 bunk beds crammed in. Then there are the larger open bay dorms that hold 100 men at once. Stop and think about that for a second. 100 men trying to exist in the same open space. No privacy, no walls, no separation. That's not detention. That's chaos, controlled only by routine and fear. According to Diddy's publicist, Judah Engelmeyer, Diddy is sharing a dorm with 8 other inmates, not getting special treatment, not in some private cell, not being protected from the general population. He's living with 8 strangers in one open dorm, surrounded by hundreds more just like him. The man who once had personal assistants to fetch water bottles is now waiting in line for a toilet like everyone else. Let's talk about the daily schedule, because this is where the reality becomes unbearable. 5 a.m. every single day, no negotiation. Fluorescent lights flood the dorms, not gradually. They come on full blast. It's a jarring wake-up designed to rouse everyone immediately. There's no sleeping in, no exceptions, regardless of status or what you used to be. Inmates scramble to get ready. They line up for head count. The regimented schedule begins whether you're mentally prepared or not. This isn't your home. You don't get to take your time. You move when they tell you to move. By 6 a.m., it's breakfast in the dining hall. And this is important because it shows the day-to-day degradation that's happening. The food is mass-produced, institutional garbage. Nothing remotely close to his former lifestyle where he employed personal chefs, catering services, and had access to whatever he wanted. Now he's standing in line with everyone else, eating whatever's served. No customization, no complaints accepted. Most of the time, complaints aren't even considered. You eat what they give you, or you don't eat. After breakfast comes what everyone's been talking about: work assignments. Federal inmates are required to work. It's not optional, it's a mandate. Every single inmate has a job. And when you're Diddy, that job isn't prestigious. It's humbling. It's intentionally humbling. TMZ obtained footage of Diddy's actual work. He's sorting uniforms for other inmates. He's washing linens and sheets. He's operating industrial dryers loaded with mass quantities of garments daily. The irony is so thick you could cut it. Diddy made a career out of luxury. Designer brands were his world. He probably owned 1,000 different outfits. He had people who washed his sneakers for him. Actual people employed to make sure his shoes were clean. Now he's scrubbing floors and folding laundry for free. For nothing. For cents an hour, if that. But here's where it gets interesting. He also has a second job, a chapel library position. This is considered one of the more desirable jobs at Fort Dix. It's quieter than laundry, definitely quieter than kitchen duty, which is brutal. His publicist is trying to spin this as something almost positive. He distributes movies to inmates and handles religious materials. His team says he works in the chapel library in a warm and respectful environment that's rewarding. That's PR speak. Let's translate. He's doing what he's told. Just like everyone else, he has no choices. He has no control. He shows up and distributes materials because the prison system requires him to do it. Work assignments stretch until 4 p.m. But here's the thing about the day. It's not just work. There are constant interruptions. Multiple head counts throughout the day. Officers are constantly verifying everyone's present. This can happen 5 to 6 times daily. Think about trying to maintain any kind of focus or routine when you're being counted and interrupted constantly. You're trying to fold laundry. Head count. You're trying to work in the library. Head count. It's a never-ending reminder that you have zero autonomy. You're property of the federal system. Evening brings limited recreation time. Inmates get access to the prison yard. There are basketball courts if you want them. A track for walking or running. A TV room with basic channels. And this is significant. No internet access whatsoever. None. Diddy, who built an empire partly on his ability to control his public image through media, is cut off from the entire internet. Phone calls are heavily monitored. Every single word is potentially recorded. You're never having a private conversation, ever. And about those phone calls, CBS News reported something that shows Diddy still hasn't learned how to operate within this system. On November 3rd, he made a 3-way call that violated prison rules. According to the reports, he was having a conversation with his legal team about issuing a statement to the New York Times. Let that sink in. He's in prison, and he's trying to manage PR through the prison phone lines. 3-way calls that are recorded. 3-way calls that prison officials monitor. The consequence was severe. He got 90 days without phone privileges, 90 days without commissary access. His publicist came out and tried to clarify everything. Judah Engelmeyer said the call wasn't initiated by Shawn, it was initiated by his lawyers, and that it's protected by attorney-client confidentiality. But here's what's interesting about that excuse. It doesn't matter if your lawyers called you. The rules are the rules. Every inmate has the same rules, no exceptions. The system doesn't care about your legal team's arguments. And then, on November 12th, something changed. His release date got pushed back. From May 8th, 2028 to June 4th, 2028. 1 full month added to his sentence. No reason given, no official explanation. As of press time, nobody really knows why. Is it the phone call incident? Is it something else? The federal system doesn't owe him transparency, and his legal team isn't talking about it. Meals come 3 times daily in the prison dining hall. Former inmates say they often get expired food. Nothing gourmet, nothing fresh. No special dietary accommodations unless they're medically necessary. And Diddy has to learn to deal with it just like everyone else. You eat what's served or you go hungry. There's no sending out for sushi. There's no personal chef making something different. The noise level in those dormitory spaces is constant. Imagine trying to sleep with 8 other men in a small space. Snoring. People getting up. People using the bathroom. The fluorescent lights on a timer that goes off when it's supposed to, not when it's convenient. The sounds of 100 men in an adjacent open bay dorm. Prison is loud, it's never quiet. It's psychologically brutal in ways that people on the outside can't really comprehend. Shower time is communal. There's no privacy. You take a shower with other inmates around. You're vulnerable, you're exposed. For someone who had the luxury of private bathrooms, private showers, private everything, this is a shock to the system. But you get used to it because you have no choice. Temperature control is minimal. Heating in winter, minimal air conditioning in summer. Fort Dix can get brutally cold in winter. New Jersey winters are serious. And the prison doesn't spend extra money on comfort. You wear what you're given. You endure what you have to endure. That's the deal. Commissary access is limited and it's regulated. If you don't have money sent to you from outside, you get nothing extra. No snacks, no hygiene products beyond the basics, no luxuries. Diddy can't just walk into a store and buy what he wants. He has to wait for family to send money to his commissary account. And then he has to figure out what meager offerings are available in the prison commissary. It's like being a child again, dependent on someone else to provide basic comforts. Medical access is available, but it's not like he has a private doctor on call. He goes through the prison medical system like everyone else. If he needs something, he requests it. It gets reviewed, it gets approved or denied. There's a process, and the process is slow. What nobody talks about is what this does to your mind. 50 months is 4 years and 2 months. That's a long time. It's not a life sentence, but it's not short either. And the daily monotony of it is designed to break you down. Wake at 5, count. Breakfast, work, count. Work, count. Lunch, work, count. Yard time, count. Dinner, TV or yard, count. Sleep, repeat. Every single day for 4 years. Diddy went from controlling every aspect of his environment to having zero control. He went from making million-dollar decisions to being told when to eat, when to sleep, when to work, when to use the bathroom. That's psychological warfare, and it's intentional. The system is designed to humble you, to strip away the power and status that defined you. The social dynamics are complex. You're in a dormitory with 8 other men. You have to figure out how to coexist with them. Who's violent? Who's trustworthy? Who's going to take your stuff? Who's politically aligned with you? These are the questions that occupy your mind daily. Add in hundreds of other inmates in the general population, and suddenly this isn't just about time, it's about survival. And the isolation from the outside world is real. Yes, he can get phone calls. Yes, his family can visit, but it's controlled. It's monitored. He's not part of his children's daily lives. He's missing moments. He's missing growth. He's having conversations through a phone line that's being recorded. That changes relationships. That changes everything. The aging that showed up in that intake photo, that's real. Prison ages people faster than normal life. The stress does it. The poor nutrition does it. The lack of sleep quality does it. The psychological weight does it. People go into federal prison looking one way and come out looking 10 years older. That's not an exaggeration. That's what we see happen to inmates. What's fascinating about all of this is the contrast. This is Diddy, Shawn Combs, the man who built an empire on swagger, control, and dominance. The man who got called the king of hip-hop for decades. The man with the power. The man with the money. The man with the connections. Now he's inmate number whatever, folding laundry for free, waiting in line for meals, dealing with the fact that his release date just got pushed back for reasons nobody will explain. The federal government doesn't care about his status. They don't care about his record. They don't care about his legacy or his money or his lawyers. The system grinds on, and everyone goes through it the same way. There's a kind of dark justice in that, depending on your perspective. What's also interesting is what this does to the narrative. His legal team and his publicist are trying to paint this as some kind of temporary situation that he's handling with grace, like he's doing fine, like he's keeping busy, like it's not a big deal. But the facts tell a different story. The intake photo tells a different story. The release date push tells a different story. The phone privilege violation tells a different story. The truth is messier and darker than anyone wants to admit. He's aging rapidly. He's isolated. He's humiliated. He's watching his power evaporate in real time. And he has to do this every single day for the next 4+ years. That's not redemption. That's not justice in some clean, satisfying way. It's just slow, grinding consequence. Here's what I want to know from you. Do you think Diddy's fully comprehended that his old life is gone? Like, do you actually believe he realizes this isn't temporary? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Is he the victim of a system that's designed to dehumanize everyone equally? Or is this exactly what needed to happen? I genuinely want to read what you think. Make sure you're subscribed because we're going to keep covering this story as it develops. There are more details coming, more leaks, more reality that his team doesn't want you to see. Next video, we're going to break down the financial impact. What's happening to his empire while he's locked up and where all the money is actually. This is the truth they don't want you to know. Stay informed.